It's my pleasure to introduce to you a candidate for United States Senate from Pennsylvania, Congressman Joe Sestak.
Can you hear me without the microphone?
I use the microphone, all right. I still take orders after 31 years in the military. This must be a chief petty officer. Thanks for giving me some time here today. We had 2 meetings down south before we got up here, and then I'm headed over to Harrisburg for a bunch of events today. I'm going on Fox. I go on Fox 5 times a week minimum to talk about health care. Someone's got to tell them. I want to do a brief introduction of myself, and Tom has been very kind to let me take questions, and I would be proud to do so. I'll get something out of that because then I get a better sense of what's really on people's mind, and without a doubt, there'll be health care. I'm Joe Sestak. I grew up down the street down in Delaware County. Born and raised there, son of an immigrant from Czechoslovakia. His father worked in a Lucan steel mill, and he went off to the U.S. Navy for World War II. My father did. So I decided in 3rd grade I was going to be just like him. My mom, who's tremendous, raised 8 kids with him. We all went to Cardinal O'Hara High School, where she taught for 22 years in math. And I went off in 1970. It was the middle of the Vietnam War, and I just wanted to do what my pop had done. I didn't think I was going to stay in quite as long as I did. I got out 3.5 years ago. It was a long, wonderful time. I was very fortunate during that period of time to work for President Clinton. I was his director for defense policy. And I've kept a nice relationship since then. But I was very taken during the 90s at this time of peace and prosperity. What didn't you like of it? And in my mind, we had a wonderful national security strategy of engagement in the world where ideals led the power of our economy, the power of diplomacy, the power of our military. The Navy was very kind to me. I got to do the one thing I wanted to do was command a ship. And then I got some icing on the cake. I got to command an aircraft carrier battle group in the war in Afghanistan. 30 ships, 15,000 sailors. I was head of the Navy's anti-terrorism unit after 9/11 because I was on the ground very early in that war. I was director of what came to be known as Deep Blue, the Navy's anti-terrorism unit. Came out to command that carrier battle group, did the retaliatory strikes. Later I was a 3-star admiral, and I had gotten married in life, and the one thing that most affected me happened then. Some of you may have known of this. I had a 4-year-old daughter who's now 8. She was struck with a malignant brain tumor. She was given 3 to 9 months to survive by Walter Reed's first of 3 brain operations. Chemotherapy, radiation, she's still here today. 18% of the kids make it with her type of tumor. 1 more year, and she's got a 95% chance to do it. I got into politics for one reason, to pay back. I got in for health care, pure and simple. It was the one sole reason I came home and ran. I do believe national security begins at home. I tell everybody. Every military officer is a Democrat. They just don't realize it. We all have health care and our families. I went off to 11.5 months for a war. I never thought or worried about my daughter and my wife. I was focused on the mission. We all have the most wonderful educational opportunity. In my case, I got to go get a PhD. But everyone there, we won't even promote you to a senior chief petty officer unless you've earned an associate's college degree in technology today, because we value knowledge. And then that wonderful, and I hate to say it, Army saying, come on in and be all you can be economically. Sounds like the principles that Democrats run on. That's what I believe. I had no intention 4 months ago of running for the U.S. Senate until Senator Menendez called me from the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee and asked me to run. I happened to have $3 million in the bank for my last campaign, even though my district was 55% Republican, 35% Democrat when I ran. We kept our office open 7 days a week the last 2.5 years. Call us at 9 o'clock tonight, Saturday, and someone answers the phone. In those 2.5 years, we have handled 3 times more constituency cases than any other congressional office. 10,000 the very first 2 years, because my district was hurting prior to this recession, and now it's been savaged. Asked to run, I agreed, and then there was a conversion. I'm Catholic, I understand conversions. We should welcome everybody into the wonderful Big Tent. I had a disagreement that in the Navy we tend, when a ship goes aground, to relieve those who are in charge. I just didn't agree with taking those who, in the GOP leadership, ran us aground the last 8 years, of having them now take us out of show water into good water. But more than that, as I went around the 67 counties, and you were very kind, sir, came up here, met with a great, wonderful group. If you've been to these 67 counties and heard somebody say to you, when you ask them, how's the recession affecting you? And they say, isn't too bad. We were hurting so badly already. You know that somehow that promise has been broken of the American dream, where your children will have the opportunity, based on their God-given talents, to do better than you. For the first time in American history, that promise has been broken. Educational opportunity, last 8 years, 100% increase in public tuition. Health premiums up over 90% in the last 8 years. 14,000 Americans lose their health insurance every day. That's equivalent to Bethlehem. 1 week, everyone losing their health insurance. Reading, 1 week, everyone losing their health insurance. And then educational opportunity, real wages, 50% of the families prior to this recession were earning less in real terms than 2001. So I'm doing this because I think there has to be a different type of leadership. Someone who believes in what President Obama did from day one and is willing to fight for them, their jobs, not their own. And I'll stop here. I'm very honored to be here, to have an opportunity, particularly to hear what you have to say via your questions. Thank you very much.